You have reached Wrestling's Toy Collector Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing from the Masters of the Universe ThunderCats crossover, Cheetara. Masters of the Universe ThunderCats Cheetara. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the fantastic details on this packaging. Up front here, typical of this chair, showing you with the figure and all of our accessories inside. At the top here, you have the Masters of the Universe logo. Over here, you have a crossover symbol, and below that, you have the ThunderCats logo. Down here, it says Cheetara, fastest feline in the universe. In the top corner, you have 6+, which is the age requirement for this figure. In the bottom corner here, you have the Mattel emblem. The back of the packaging here, in the top corner, it says, beware forces of evil. Nothing in the universe can match the speed of ThunderCats' ferocious warrior, Cheetara. Over here, you have beautiful illustrations of Cheetara doing battle with Trapjaw. Down here, you have Cheetara, fastest feline in the universe. Next to that, you have a yellow starburst that reads, includes comic book. Then down here, you have some of the figure's features. Below that, it says, plug staff handle in the bracer. And next to that, you have a cross-up of all the other available figures. In the corner here, you have a Mattel emblem. And next to that, it says, empowering generations through play. Masters of the Universe Origins and ThunderCats Cheetara. Cheetara was released July 2025 with the suggested retail price of $21.48. And she's available exclusively at Walmart. Cheetara was released along with the other Masters of the Universe Origins and ThunderCats Wave 1 figures, Rhino, and Battlecat Man. Cheetara has 16 points of articulation, and her accessories include 2 battle staffs, 2 distinct hair looks, a removable battle harness with skirt armor, a wrist bracer, 2 sets of lower legs, mini comic book, and instructions. Cheetara stands 5.5 inches tall, and she is meant for fans ages 6 and up. Now that I have Cheetara on my display table, so I want to go over some of her play features and accessories. First by talking about the Masters of the Universe Origins ThunderCats crossover mini comic book, Third Eternia, which features Lion-O and He-Man on the cover. Below that, you have Cheetara. Over here, you have Panther. In the corner here, you have Battlecat Man. Inside the comic book here, you have Skeletor. And over here you have Lion-O, and down here you have Tigra. On the next page, you have Panther and Cheetara, but on the final page, you have the introduction of Skelra. On the back of the comic book here, you have a cross-up of all the other available figures in Wave 1. We're going to put this off to the side. The next accessory I want to talk about is Cheetara's wrist bracer right here. You notice on the wrist bracer, she has a little battle staff here. That's one of 2 battle staffs that were included with Cheetara. And right here, you have the mini battle staff that's stored on her wrist bracer. And Cheetara has the ability to take that mini battle staff and extending it, which is nice. They include both versions of that staff. One you can store and one you can armor with. But with her arm Cheetara with this battle staff here, you just take it and just slide it right through her right fist just like that. And then you have Cheetara armed to the battle staff. Very, very cool. I'm going to take this battle staff, put it off to the side. I'm going to take the mini one, put it back right into the wrist bracer. The next accessory I'm going to talk about is her battle harness and skirt armor. It's molded out of like a rubbery plastic, so it has a lot of flexibility to it. But what's really cool about this battle armor is that it's molded out of like a blue rubbery plastic where there's a lot of flexibility, but it has little metallic speckles, so it kind of gives it that sheen. It gives it that armor-like shine to it. It's very, very nicely done. You get the Battlecats insignia right here. It's such a nicely done figure. And you also have the ability of converting Cheetara into original ThunderCats version of Cheetara. And there's actually a little instruction booklet that comes with Cheetara to show you how to do that. And if you know the history of Masters of the Universe Origin figures, you know that these figures can be taken apart and customized. Well, the instructions don't really get into that too much, and her parts are interchangeable with any female Masters of the Universe Origin figures or any of the other crossover figures. But these instructions specifically tell you how to convert this version of Cheetara into the original version. And you can do that because this set also includes Cheetara's original hairpiece and additional leg pieces that kind of look more like the original Cheetara, which is very, very cool. But in order to get there, you need to completely take apart Cheetara. So I'm going to take the instructions, put them off to the side, because you do need to pull the leg pieces off, and they do come out. You got the little peg right there, bottom of the calf right here, and you got a porthole at the top of the calf right here. You got to the other side, you can pull that off, and you're also going to need to pull off the boots. So, and that's a lot of force needs to be taken to take these boots off. You need to completely take this figure apart. And you want to be very careful because you do cause some stress marks, where you can see some stress marks right there from the force that I've used to take this figure apart. But unfortunately, you have to take this figure completely apart. So you're going to pop this figure out in the waist right here. You want to pop her arms off. And you also want to pop off the head. Because the piece that you need to take off is this chest harness right here, this battle harness and skirt armor. And you can slide Cheetara right out of there because, like I mentioned earlier on, this armor is molded out like a rubbery plastic, so it conforms nicely to the body. Very, very nicely done, but it's a nice accessory, and it's a very welcomed accessory, because I think Cheetara looks almost better with this battle harness on. It's really, really nicely done. I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and take her chest piece and her bottom torso piece and put them together. And you can see she's very reminiscent of the original Cheetara from the ThunderCats cartoon series. And each one of these leg pieces is labeled. I guess there's a right, which is the right leg right here. So you want to go ahead and pop that right into the thigh or the calf piece, just like that. It takes a little bit of force because it isn't the default piece, so it's kind of harder to get on. Do that to the other side to the other leg piece. I'm gonna go ahead and push that on, and it takes a little bit of force to come on. And it's kind of hard to do without bumping the camera, but go ahead and squeeze that on just like that. And now you have Cheetara with her leg pieces on. I'm gonna take her boots. I'm gonna make sure the boots are going to the right foot. So you got the right foot. This has the L on it, so that's her left foot. So I'm gonna go ahead and peg that right into Cheetara's left calf. And like I said, it takes a little bit of force because it is not the default piece, and unfortunately, it does cause a little bit of stress marks. But I think I got it on. You just gotta wiggle it on and put a little bit of force behind it without breaking it. And this figure feels very fragile, but the plastic is very strong, so I don't have too much fear of breaking it. But you can see already I have stress marks on that peg right there. Go ahead and peg the other foot into the ankle piece, just like that. And that kind of went on a little bit easier. I just want to straighten that out so I can get Cheetara to stand on her own, because a lot of these female Masters of the Universe figures do have the issue of standing on their own. I think I might have that on backwards, so I'm gonna twist that all the way around. But yeah, the female figure is a little bit more finicky when it comes to assembling them, because you got to get them on perfect. Now that I have her standing, that means I have her perfectly put together. Go and take her left arm here, or right arm, pop that right into place. You just peg that right in. Do that to the other side. Peg that right in. So far I have Cheetara's body assembled. Now the next trick is, you have the headpiece right here, and this is just a hair piece. So you want to go ahead and take her headpiece, and you want to do it without kind of scratching or causing too much damage to the face piece. Just slide that out. I know I should have practiced this before I went ahead and popped the head out, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and take the head and pop it right in, just like that. And it's not a ball socket joint, which is very nice, and it's very tight. Next piece I want to grab is a hair piece here, because on the top of the head here, you have a couple slots right there, and right there. You just want to take this hair piece now and slide it right in, and it should just tap right into place, just like that. And now you have the original Cheetara assembled. Very, very nicely done figure. And it's very cool because you have the option of having the old school Cheetara, which I'm probably going to display her in this form, or you can buy a second version of this figure and you have both figures displayed side by side, where you have the crossover figure. And I do like the armor though. I think the armor is really, really cool. And I do like the new hair piece. I know the whole 80s hair piece doesn't really do it for me, but it's still a great figure, and it's nice to have the option of having the original Cheetara, because there aren't too many versions of Cheetara that I like, and this is probably the better version of Cheetara. I want to go ahead and put this all off to the side, And I'm going to take this staff, put it off to the side, and I'm going to put her larger staff into her hand because I want my Cheetara to be fully armed and ready for battle in her battle pose on my display shelf. If you found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, and while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Red Tails on Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.